Today I'm going to attempt to teach you how to make a wiring harness and do simple wiring connections. I know it looks like I have a big mess up here, and I kind of do, but I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible for you. And I have a couple different steps just because it's hard to make something like this in class, and especially in 6 minutes while explaining to you what it does. But I'm going to try my best to do that in stages. So basically what we're going to be doing is making a very simple thing that does a job. So for example, in a car you might want an extra set of lights because you don't want to hit a deer at night or something. So you would put another light in your vehicle. So to accomplish that, I'm using small drill batteries because I didn't want to bring in a 50-pound car battery in here to show you how that works. So we're basically going to be making something like this, just a positive and a negative. This is an inline fuse. What an inline fuse does is basically if your car battery were to get knocked around or wet or something, this would blow. These are like less than 5 cents rather than a $20 to $400 light pod, for example. So I'm not going to, like this here, this took me about 30 minutes to do, like that. I've done a lot of different random things like that, but we're going to make the start of that with this. So for the majority of things, I use 14, 16 gauge wire. Different gauges will give you a bunch of different results and obviously have their own applications. If you're wiring a winch, for example, you want very, very large gauge wire, which is actually a smaller number, so it's kind of like sandpaper. The lower you go, the thicker or the more aggressive it is. It's basically the same for wire. So like a 22 gauge wire would be very small. So the connections that we're going to be doing today, I should mention what I'm doing right now is I'm braiding this. All that this does is just make it easier to put in this loom here. You don't have to do this, obviously. It's not, it doesn't affect any of the functions. It just makes it, one, it looks a lot nicer than just having wires. Two, it's better packaging, like this won't get caught on anything. Like if this were to fray, which it doesn't, it's not gonna short out your wire. This is just an easier way to package it so that it can stay as long as possible. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of hold some tension. So as you can see, all we're kind of doing is spinning it, making this nice thing like this. As you can see, I have a bunch of different colored wire here. That's just because I didn't want to waste any of my new fancy wire, so I brought in some random colors. Normally you don't see turquoise and green or yellow or black as much, but that's what I have to use. Okay, there we go. So when you're doing this, obviously when you get done with this, the wire, since it hasn't been raveled, it's going to want to unravel. So you're going to have to grab some zip ties or some electrical tape. On these, I used heat shrink because I think it looks the nicest. That's going to add a little bit of time though, so we're not going to do that. So the basic principle of wiring is it's all based on how much time and effort you put into it. It's very simple to make a light pod just having 2 wires and a ground. But I prefer, if you're doing something, you should do it to the best of your abilities and as professional as possible. So, it's all on, how good you want it to end up. It's one of those things that, the more you put in, the more it's going to turn out. Car shows, I go to a lot of car shows, and you can really tell the difference between some guy who, did it themselves in a garage, and some guy who either took, very extensive care on how it was wired and how it was routed. It's something that I really appreciate because not only does this take a long time to wire a whole vehicle like this and make it look nice, but it's just, I suppose it's kind of a personal preference thing. I think it's actually very interesting and very fun to do because at the end you have something that actually functions. Yeah, I am by no means an electrician or anything, but I've been building some vehicles for a while now, and these are some tricks and techniques I have come up with. So this is basically what we made. This is just a braided wire. Now, for time's sake, I have already done that. You can see I have my turquoise and green braided the same as the yellow there. These ones I didn't have to have a zip tie on because I've been having them sit on themselves for a while, so they're already cured. The next thing you can do is you grab some wire loom. This is the cheap stuff. This is plastic. This is great. You can buy it by like the 100 foot. It's cool. It's set for, it likes to melt when it gets hot, which isn't cool. Like all of this is very expensive. You get it at the automotive store. I mean, you get that at the automotive store anyway. But this like is heat resistant. So if this is in an engine bay and it gets on something hot, it's not gonna burn up. And it's just a little more durable. This is made of fiberglass strands, whereas that's just plastic. It also looks a bit nicer. This, in order to get the wires in, it has this little crease here. And every once in a while, you know, especially if you don't braid these, it'll want to come out of that crease. That doesn't happen, it's a full sheath. So it couldn't be more simpler. All you're going to do is you're going to take your sheath here. I should mention the price difference between a sheath like this and that plastic stuff is like probably triple. I mean, this roll of 10 feet, it's like 20 bucks, and that is like 7 for 100 feet. That's probably more than 3 times the cut. I'm bad at math. Anyway, this, you just slide it over it. That's all you got to do. For the ends of it, you're going to use a piece of heat shrink. Since this is kind of a big end, I already did it on this side. You know, you use blue heat shrink. You can get these in a variety of sizes, obviously. Just heat shrink that with a heat gun. I'll show you that on the other side. So a wire connector, how should I explain this? Basically, you are going to strip the wire. I should mention what I'm making right now is not for a light pod. We are going to make a portable charger that runs on a dual battery. So what I did this morning is I crimped these connections on here. These are called blade connectors. This is the blade and this is the female end. You know, all you simply have to do is negative to negative and positive to positive. Obviously these are very small. They're probably hard for you to see, but it couldn't be more simpler. They just slide into each other. So on this side, what we're going to do is we're going to install 2 male those connectors. You know, if you were attaching this to a normal battery, you'd probably have something like this that has a hole in it so it can go around the terminals. That's just more permanent. For my application, I just want to simply slip it into that battery there. So Kira is very nicely telling me that I'm running out of time. So we're just going to clamp these on here, and I'm going to explain to you that all that has to happen from right now is to slip this on over it, and then you just heat it up, it'll melt right on there. So to demonstrate how this works, we will put this into here, and this into there. And now you can see we have power to this. This is showing 18 volts. This is normally a 20 volt battery. I have used it a little bit, so that's why it's 18. Then you're going to take your USB cable right here. Mine is pink. Adds horsepower. And then I'm going to take my phone out. And I am officially charging at 68% right now. So yeah, that I suppose is my speech. I hope that you got something out of that. I wish I could explain more to you, but that's all I got. So